Connecting here with you reminds me back of our days completing our agriculture diploma at the University of Guelph. Now we're here, me as the climate business manager for FieldView, and you as a grain farmer and FieldView user. So glad to connect with you here again.
Yep. Good to see you again, Andrew.
So how is the 2020 growing season going for you so far?
It started off a little cold, but no, it's been good. We've got a fair amount of rain lately, lots of heat, polar opposite of last year. So things look really good. This year, I think a little patience paid off, especially with no-till beans. And but I think every year presents a different challenge and a different learning event. So that's just part of farming, right? That's why agriculture. That's the way it is. Nature of the beast.
Yeah. No two seasons are the same. That's for sure, right? So
that's right. Right.
So Dave, you've been on FieldView for a number of years. Can you tell me a little bit about your journey to adoption and how you've grown into FieldView over those years?
Yeah, it started back a number of years ago with precision planting when I got a 2020 for a corn planter. And ever since then, it started off with strictly the corn planter, and then I added it to the combine with Yield Sense, and then I started using it to manage all our harvest data. And it's evolved into, I use it for fertilizer applications. I use it in the sprayer, which I feel is one of the most important things for me. We just try to log as much as we can. So in 3 or 4 years, if you wonder what did I do in that farm in this year, you can go back and look. It's an evolving product. It's an excellent management tool, and I really like it.
So you mentioned going to variable rate populations using FieldView seed scripts. What have you learned over the years that made you want to adopt that on a pretty broad base across your farm?
I just find like we have some farms that are pretty heavy clay, some farms with some raw knolls on them. So, we'll play with the population on the knolls, and we just take the areas that make you the money and that grow well for you, and you treat them accordingly. And the areas that don't do so well, you'll handle that differently. It makes it very nice to be able to do that and log it at the same time. And you have that, in your field view for years. You can check back and see how it worked for you.
Can you share a little bit of background to the field and maybe why the script is developed the way it is, Dave?
Yeah, so we acquired this farm several years ago, and it hadn't been farmed in years actually, and it's got a lot of knolls on it, and it's got some tougher areas, especially through there. There's some tougher areas on this farm. There's a big knoll back through here, so the hollows and the good growing areas of the farm, we put more seed. They're the areas that yield, and the ones that don't yield as well, we back the seed off, and it's worked very well on this farm. We're really happy with how this farm started producing with a variable rate. And when you harvest it, you go in, you do your region reports, and you can check and see how that worked for you. And it's all there, it's all logged. I pulled that up in 30 seconds. It's all here. It doesn't matter if it's 2020 or 2016, it doesn't take long to get all that.
So as you're starting to think about next year, what role does FieldView play in terms of product selection, hybrid selection, as you think about your crop plan going into 2021?
It plays a significant role because that's my main tool for seeing, what varieties performed well for me. You can look back through the years. So if you have a farm that's heavier clay versus a lighter farm, you can look back through the history of how it yielded with different crops and make your hybrid selections based off of past history that's right in your iPad. So it plays a significant role for me for checking all that. Like, you no longer need to write it down on a piece of paper and oops, I didn't bring it with me, or I forget. It's right at your fingertips on your phone or on your iPad to check that, and it's a good tool, a very important tool to use in selecting those hybrids. The thing that FieldView has done so well is they have made it very adaptable on every different piece of equipment, every make, doesn't matter what color, and it doesn't matter if the tractor's or combine sprayer, a 2019 model or a 2001 model. They've made it work where you can do whatever you want to do. There's no unlocks, there's no massive hoops, there's no nothing. It works in everything. And that's the thing that I really like that they've done. It's been very, very well managed. I use it on my tractor that's a 1993, and it works just as well on my 2016 combine. And that's the part that's been done very, very well. There's no modems, there's no extra things required. It's just put your puck in the cam port, and you're away to the races. You're logging your data.
Yeah, it fits a number of different operations there with quite a bit of ease. And
it's just almost the tip of the iceberg. You wonder what's going to be coming next. So I look forward to seeing that.
So I just want to thank you, Dave, for taking the time here and catching up and seeing how things are going for the season and how FieldView is really becoming a critically important tool to the success of your operation. So once again, great to catch up with you, and wish you all the best as you approach harvest here.
Yeah, you too. Good seeing you again, Andy.